Welcome to Adaptive IELTS. Today, we'll explore the word bilateral, a crucial term used in discussions about international relations, trade agreements, and diplomatic negotiations. This word is particularly valuable for Task 1 essays describing graphs and trends, as well as Task 2 essays discussing global cooperation and partnerships. Let's start with pronunciation. Bilateral is pronounced as bi-lat-u-rul. Break it down with me. Bi, like B, lat, stressed, softer, rule, like ral. Practice with this sentence. Many countries prefer bilateral trade agreements to multilateral ones. Notice how the stress falls on the second syllable, lat. Understanding the meaning is essential for IELTS success. Bilateral refers to something that involves two sides or parties, especially in the context of agreements, relations, or negotiations between two countries or organizations. It contrasts with multilateral, which involves more than two parties. Bilateral can be used in several forms. As an adjective, bilateral agreement. As an adverb, bilaterally, the countries agreed bilaterally. The noun form, less common, bilaterality. The prefix bi indicates two, which is key to its meaning. To vary your vocabulary, consider these alternatives: reciprocal, formal; two-sided, simple; mutual, common; joint, general. For specific contexts, you might use duplex, technical, or double, basic. Remember that bilateral often remains the most precise term in formal contexts. Use bilateral effectively in various contexts: international relations, bilateral negotiations; trade agreements, bilateral trade deal; diplomatic relations, bilateral ties; cooperation, bilateral collaboration. Remember to use it when emphasizing the two-sided nature of an arrangement or relationship. To score higher in IELTS, master these keyword combinations. Common collocations include bilateral agreement, bilateral relations, bilateral trade, bilateral cooperation, bilateral negotiations, bilateral ties, bilateral partnership, bilateral discussions. Consider these IELTS examples. Writing Task 2. Bilateral trade agreements can stimulate economic growth while fostering international cooperation. Speaking Part 3. Many experts believe that strengthening bilateral relations is essential for maintaining global stability. Writing Task 1. The graph shows the growth of bilateral trade between country A and country B. Now it's your turn to practice. Complete these sentences. 1. Many countries prefer blank agreements to multilateral ones. 2. The two nations established blank diplomatic relations. 3. A blank trade deal can benefit both partners. 4. The conference focused on blank cooperation in technology. 5. Blank negotiations often yield faster results. Answers: bilateral, 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 POM. Your homework. 1. Write 3 sentences using bilateral in contexts such as trade, diplomacy, and cooperation. 2. Find an article about a recent bilateral agreement and summarize its key points. 3. Create a short paragraph discussing the advantages of bilateral relations between two countries. Here are some pro tips to boost your IELTS score. Use bilateral when emphasizing the two-sided nature of an agreement or relationship. Pair it with synonyms like reciprocal or mutual to add variety. Remember that bilateral is most effective in formal contexts, such as essays and presentations. Today, we've explored the word bilateral and learned how to use it effectively in IELTS writing and speaking tasks. Use this term to discuss international relations, trade agreements, and cooperation between countries. Keep practicing with the exercises and tips provided to boost your band score.